So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Dave Chappelle backlash. I don't know if you guys have seen this, the Dave Chappelle comedy special. So firstly, straight off the bat, I'm obviously biased. I'm a comedian. I love the guy. He's the best comic ever. He's the best comedian there ever has been, and I don't see anyone eclipsing him. My personal favorite is Bill Burr. He's my favorite guy. But Bill, I guess, doesn't have the cultural impact, I suppose, of Dave Chappelle is what you would describe it. My favorite is Bill, but I get that Dave's the GOAT. That's what it is, right? So, Dave does his special, blah, blah. I'm sure everyone's seen it. I loved it. I thought it was, and this is actually, even among people who really like Dave, this is kind of a controversial opinion. I thought it was his best one. I loved it. I thought it was his funniest. I really, really liked it. I thought it was hilarious. I laughed harder than I have watching the other ones, which I also loved. I thought it was his strongest. I might have to go back and watch the other ones because from what I'm seeing, it seems like a lot of people disagree. Like a lot of people thought it was really funny, but the other ones were better. I thought this one was the fucking best. I really loved it. His joke about COVID and the, I won't spoil it, but like the hate crimes, one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard. Really stupid and silly. I love it, right? But everyone's really upset about it. Everyone's really angry, which is weird because I watched it with Greeley, Keel, and Rosa. We all loved it. We all thought it was great. Well, I guess it's not weird that cunts are angry about comedy, is it? That's just par for the course at this point. You do anything, people get angry. But there was a big backlash from the trans community, who are legends. Good on them. I couldn't do that shit. Seems like a lot of effort, They're brave. I mean that for real. That shit's brave as fuck. Couldn't imagine turning my penis inside out just to get a pussy. I mean, you got to really want a pussy. I like sometimes, I went on a regional tour and I was away from my girl for months. Never been more horny in my life. I stayed in a caravan for like 2 months with a bunch of boys, and the only time we had any privacy was in a public trailer park bathroom. So there were no wanks had. So I would say that at that moment in my life, that's the most I've ever wanted pussy in my life, and I still probably wouldn't turn my penis inside out to get it. So, God bless those ladies because they want it. And I actually think, contrary to what a lot of people say, I think they're very tough people. I think trans people are very strong people. You have to be. To be trans, you have to see what you want, and you have to see what's going to happen if you go after it, and you have to go, fuck, I'm going to do it anyway. Not a want. It's like a need, It's not a choice. I don't think that, right? I mean, how fucking gnarly would it be if it was a choice? I reckon that's cooler. Like, don't you think that's cooler? Like it's not, but let's just entertain the idea that imagine if it was a choice. How fucking gnarly is that? Like, you know what that would be? That would be like when you see those cunts who try and turn themselves into like lizards, and they get the forked tongues and they go, I just really want to look like a snake, And it's like they don't need you, they just really want to, and you're like, fuck, that's strange, but that's cool. Get after it. How fucking cool would it be if it was just a choice? Like one day, some bloke just woke up and was like, you know what? I reckon I'm going to go through a bunch of elective surgeries, turn my cock inside out, make it into a pussy, bolt on some big tits, completely change the facial structure of my face, and endure a lot of bigotry and oppression and hatred and a lot of violence just because I want to, just because I feel like it. That would be, that's cool. Like, why the fuck did you do that? You're like, I felt like it today. That's fucking sick, all right? But obviously it's not a choice. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if it was, I reckon that'd be fucking awesome. There's got to be one. Surely there's got to be one out there that's just like, yeah, just felt like it for a little bit, you know? Just kind of it just felt I wanted to do it. It looked fun. There's got to be at least one trans person, you know? There's got to be. Like, imagine if Elliot Page was just doing it for a laugh. Like, he was just like, man, I just wanted to like freak out Vogue magazine. Is this going down well in the comments?
No. No, people aren't a fan of this one.
They're not a fan of this one?
Not really.
No?
Some people are, but there's a lot of face palms.
A lot of face palms. A lot of people worried that I'm going to get myself in trouble. Guys, I'm saying that it's not, but if it was, that'd be there's some comedy in that, right? So anyway, my point is, I think that trans people are really tough. They're tough. You got to be tough. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have to turn your cock into a vagina, you got to go through a bunch of surgeries and then the recovery process, you know what you get at the end of that? You get a tough cunt. Literally, you get a tough cunt. So I have a lot of respect for trans people. I think they're cool. Right? Not cool in the sense that, like, in culture cool, you know? Like that, like it's not, you know, like Culture Kings is cool. You know? Like, people look at Culture Kings and they go, fuck, that's cool. Imagine if Culture Kings was just a bunch of trans people hanging around. You know, like, fuck, that shop's cool. And you see like a bunch of 6'4" women and then like 5'3" dudes just hanging out. You're like, fuck, that's really cool. Look at those cool guys. You know, like, black people are cool. Maybe we'll get to that point. You know? Do you reckon we'll ever get to that point where, like, trans people will be fucking, they'll just naturally cool? Black people are there, you know? Like, racism's not over, but the average black guy is quite cool. A lot cooler than your average white dude, you know? You look at a black guy walking down the street and you're like, that guy even walks cool. You know? Doesn't that piss you off as a white guy? You look at a black dude and he walks cool. You're like, how the fuck did you do that? Did you decide to do that? Or is it natural? You know? Imagine if we get to that point with trans people. Like, fuck, look at her. She's cool. You know? And she's like fucking 6'6" in heels just walking down the street. You're like, what a fucking cool bitch. Look at her go. What am I saying? Anyway, Dave Chappelle. So these cool, tough cunts are really angry at Dave Chappelle. And I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. And I think that the point Dave was trying to, I think what the point is, and obviously, you know, I'm a white guy, so I can't properly understand it because it's the very like African American thing. I'm a straight white guy from Australia weighing in on African American male versus trans community. And here's what I think, just in case anyone wanted to know. I think that what Dave was trying to say was, I feel like the black rights movement isn't finished, and I know what it's like to be discriminated against, and I feel like the world has moved on from our issues and is now focusing on these issues. And for some reason, this group of people is seen as less than my group of people, even though we're not up there with white people yet. I think basically that was kind of what he was saying.